Welcome back. Did you watch the first part of 7-2? If you haven't, please go back and watch part 1 of 7-2. So I gave you a little cool assignment to try 5 and 6 on your own. Let's see how you did. Okay, so this first one, we have two coefficients, 3 times 2. I'm going to put them together because they're similar. And then I'm going to put my letters together in 4 and in 3. The way I tackle these is I do exactly as it states. I just multiply. What's 3 times 2? 6. Nice. And ends are, I can only think of the word nickel. So you got 4 nickels. Someone hands you 3 more nickels. How many nickels do y'all have together? In 7. Now a lot of kids want to try to multiply these exponents. The rule of the multiply or power rule is when you're multiplying with like bases, you add your exponents. When multiplying with like bases, we add our exponents. We don't multiply them. So I know it's tough for kids because they'll say 6 into the 12th. Nope. We're only allowed to multiply the coefficients. We add our exponents. And I have a really cool poster that will be up for the test. So we have our product rule right on the top. They give a good example of the product rule there. The power rule we'll be learning next. The negative exponent rule we learned yesterday in the 7-1 unit. And then we'll be learning the division rule, okay? The quotient rule. So these are the main ones that I leave up on the board. So when you're taking the test, you need a little prompt, a little support. Yeah, y'all can look up here. And I'm going to leave it on the board for kiddos so no one's feeling like, because there's a lot to learn, right? And we have the 0 rule, which I don't have on here, but anything raised to the 0 power is 1. Okay, cool beans. Let's take a look at that second one. Number 6. So we have 3, 4, and 4. They're all friends. They're all coefficients. Again, coefficient is just the fancy word for front number. Okay, and then we're going to put all of our like bases together. So I have in 3, in 1, in 1. If you're a visual learner, trust me, put that little stinking 1 in there. Some of you visualize it. My brain doesn't operate at that level. I need to see it, okay? So if you're I need to see it kid, I feel you. So let's see what we got here. We have 3 times 4, 12. 12 times 4, 48. Cool. So our new coefficient, our new fancy front number is 48. But let's check out our like bases. So let's think of a new N word. A newt, like lizard, okay? You have 3 newts. One more runs up to, and then another one runs up to. How many newts do you see? That would be 5 newts. And if you'd like to throw a little multiplication dot in there, go for it, okay? So we multiply our coefficients and we add the powers when we have like bases. We don't multiply them. Okay, now let's do something, we got some fanciness going on. We got some negative exponents thrown in for good measure. We got a 0 exponent thrown in. Whoo, this looks like fun. Let's give it a roll. So the first thing I do is make sure everybody has a coefficient, aka a front number, and I make sure that everyone has a power, okay? Now I'm going to put my front numbers together. 1 times 4 times 2. And then I'm going to put all my like bases together. x4, x1, x negative 3. Cool. Let me multiply my front. 1 times 4 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. Cool beans. I have like bases. The rule for like bases, right? That power rule. When we have like bases, we add our powers. Just like the power rule says on the poster. Cool beans. Let's keep going. So I have 4 plus 1 plus a negative 3. You're like, well, holy heck, what is that? Well, let's look at a number line really quick. So we have 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we'll put some negatives over here just in case. So I have 4. Cool, so let's go put our finger at 4. Moves forward 1. Now moves back 3. Our new power is a positive 2. Let's do that again. You started at 4. On the number line, you went forward 1. You ended up at 5. And then 5 minus 3 is 2, right? So if you need a number line to see that best, because you're a visual learner or a body kinesthetic learner, you go for the gold. Okay, let's try number 8. So first thing I do is make sure everyone has a coefficient, front number, and I make sure everyone has a power. Let me put my coefficients together because they are like terms. And then let me put my powers or my exponents together because they are like as well. Now, I'll be honest, that's a weird one. It's a tripper. I know I already did your notes and homework, and I was like, wow, some of these are a little spicy. So let's do some math here. We have 3 times 3, 9. 9 times 1, 9. Now we have a lot of like bases. M for music. All I can think of is the word music. So we have music, music, music. They're like bases because they're all M for music. So that means we're going to add all of our exponents. So if I'm at 1 and I go back 1, and then I don't move at all because of that 0, now that's an interesting answer and it's not quite simplified. The rule is when you're simplifying, your final answer can't have a negative exponent and your final answer can't have a 0 exponent. So let's recall the 0 rule. Anything to the 0 power is what? 1. So technically this is 9 times 1 because this piece is equivalent to 1 because it's m to the power of 0, which is 1. So I have 9 times 1, which is just 9. My whole answer is just 9. Okay? Cool. Now, it's going to get a little bit more spicy after this because we're incorporating a new variable. So at this point, we were just dealing with a single variable of x or a single variable of n. But now we're going to throw in like x, y, z, t. Like, we're going to spice it up. Like, who doesn't want spicy? That makes the math fun. Okay, so this is the end of part 2. Come back for part 3. Blessings.